Hey guys, welcome to the show, and today we're going to talk about Bloodbound Book 3. So, this has been really exciting book, and 18th of January, if I remember correctly, it released this year, the third and the last book so far, because the series probably ended, and it was good while it lasted, to be honest. Bloodbound, I would say, the vampire book, and in all its adventures, sort of, supernatural book, it's the best trilogy ever. And if like this kind of supernatural book, it is the first book that has a trilogy, like three books, and also a holiday season. So I'm gonna upload the holiday season video before Christmas, so stay tuned if you the review of that holiday season book of Bloodbound. So book 3, it was really awesome. After reading two books of Bloodbound, the core fan base of Bloodbound, they were waiting for it. And this is again a gender locked book. You can play as a girl. So what is the personality of our main character throughout this book 1? We have seen the same thing. In general, you are curious, clever, perceptive, adventurous, as well as fierce and compassionate, and far braver than you appear. The rest of your personality is determined by your choices. You can be flirty or professional, you can be feisty or obedient, you know, and apologetic or somewhere in between. So it all depends on your choices. You're empathetic towards the less fortunate, cleanless vampires and willing to fight to defend yourself and those you care about. When you are thrown into the world of vampires and other supernatural beings, you're not frightened. Adrian Rains describes you as being capable of bravery beyond anyone else, capable of kindness in the world of cruelty, and capable of hope in the face of the impossible. Lily Spencer describes you as empathetic, as you would cry at a sad ending of a romance show and smile when you pet a puppy. Camilla and Jax understand your pain and how pain can shape someone into a monster, but that your strength makes you a source of hope for a group. So that's basically that. And if you don't know, in a Bloodbound book, the background is basically you grew up in a small town full of meadows, where you own a pony and remember riding her with the warmth of sunlight on your face. Although your bloodkeeper abilities began to manifest when you were young, you dismissed them as dreams and suppressed memories of them and of your mother's abilities. At the time, you spent most of your life there before taking the risk to leave everything behind and move to New York City. Your parents weren't thrilled by your decision, but they were still supportive, and they constantly text you every morning just to make sure you're still alive. A year ago, you graduated college with a bachelor degree in communications. I'm talking about just even book 1, what happened, just the background if you don't know. Then interned at Manon Financial before volunteering in San Trobita for a year. Before going employment with Rains Corporation, you were struggling financially. Your previous jobs offered little income and your savings were drying up. You remember bonding with Lily when she bought you 10 different kinds of pizza to make up for eating your last slice of leftover pizza. You also know how to enjoy New York on the cheap side, your favorite hole in the wall dinner serving breakfast for less than $3. So you know this. And book 1, book 2, a lot of things happen, but how book 3 starts and what is the main plot of book 3 is that the turn. You awoken in a fresh grave 4 days after your death. If you know in the last chapter what happened, like if you remember, like after your death, how you are transformed into a vampire. Basically, that story the book 3 tells. Confused and hungry, you make your way through the New York City streets until your love interest finds you and brings you to Adrian's office. Throughout book 3, you learn and adjust to your new powers as a vampire, and your psychic abilities increase exponentially. You are the first and only bloodkeeper to be turned into a vampire. Now, Rhea's return, that's really important. When Rhea Apostolus appears, everyone except you is in awe. As a vampire, you can feel the power emanating from her, but it is your choice to be submissive to her or hold your ground. She appears warm and inviting, and most Everyone falls under her spell and believes that she wants world peace. However, you find out differently when you stumble upon her bedroom during the bacchanalia at her mansion. She finds it odd that she cannot control you, but as she can control others, so she takes over the minds of your friends and orders them to kill you. You instinctively defend yourself and unleash hidden psychic power. You break the control she has over your friends and all of your escape New York. Now then it starts your training. Knowing that you may be the only one who can stop Rhea because you're the only one who appears impervious to her control, Jax brings you and your friends to Japan in search of Kano Yoshimasa, a powerful psychic. There you meet Takeshi Watanabe, Jax's maker, and the Five of Japan, who want nothing to do with the upcoming battle against Rhea. Your training with Kano is slow but productive as you're able to confront your tears about Gaius and learn more about the psychic plane. Before you can go further, Gaius appears and attacks. Takeshi sacrifices himself so you all may escape, but later you decide to face Gaius alone. You are able to peer into his mind and remove the corruption that Rhea had placed there. When Gaius realizes the truth, he tells you that he can help you kill her once and for all by taking you to Demetrius. With the knowledge that Rhea could be killed by Demetrius's blood, you and your friend and Gaius venture to the South Pacific island where he is located. After a battle against spider pharaohs, you make your way to the island and find the Tree of Eternal Death. You are the only one able to continue walking as your friends are weakened with every step, and when you touch the tree, you are immediately drawn in the psychic plane. There, Demetrius greets you and tells you that you are his granddaughter with Rhea. You are the sacred chalice where Rhea's vampire blood has joined Rhea's human blood. He allows you to take his sap because he knows your purpose there, and he suppresses his influence over the environment, giving you and your friends enough time to patch up a boat and leave the island. And then we have the final battle. In chapter 15, you and your friends return to New York armed with a dagger coated in Demetrius' blood. Gaius escorts you into the opera house as his prisoners, but Rhea is not convinced. Camellia tries to attack as do the rest of your friends, but Rhea is annoyed by the attempt. You try to strike her with the dagger, but Vlad Tipis intervenes and she discovers what the dagger contains. When she launches the dagger back at you, Jax or Lily take the hit in order to protect you. As Jax or Lily lay in your arms, he or she thanks you for your friendship and your love. He or she asks to be staked to end his or her life because he or she does not want to become feral. You don't want them to die, but you agree. Jax stakes himself, or Camilla stakes Lily. He or she turns to ash and disappears. In chapter 16, afterwards, you become grief stricken and vow to kill Rhea. Now you are consumed by anger and pain. You can choose to kill the vermin who were loyal to Rhea who killed Jax or Lily, or incapacitate them. Showing them some mercy, you can just incapacitate them. Now it's totally up to your choice. When Vlad tries to stop, you can kill him or spare his life. You can also choose to incapacitate Seraphine DuPont by psychically causing her pain and knocking her unconscious or telling the truth about Rhea, thereby recruiting and forgiving her. When you finally face up with Rhea, you pull her into the psychic plane and show her the truth about her daughter's death. When she realizes all she has done was for nothing, she tells you to kill her. Even if you hesitate, you ultimately kill her. After absorbing her essence, you become temporarily overcome with power. Thinking you can bring back Jax or Lily, after seeing that it's not possible, you sadly accept the fact that you cannot revive the dead and are shocked that you almost became like Rhea. A few weeks later, you can give Gaius Augustine a second chance to atone for his sins or execute him. Afterwards, you and your friends go public and tell the press on television that you are vampires and they exist, and that you will work toward building an understanding and a better world for both humans and vampires alike. So that was in the book 3, and as I said, there is this Christmas or holiday special book that I'm going to review before Christmas or probably near Christmas, on Christmas, at that time. So stay tuned for that and let me know like how did you feel about Bloodbound 1, Bloodbound 2, Bloodbound 3. Which characters impressed you till this day, and how'd you like it? Thank you.